Okay, hi. For those who haven't noticed, I am black. And after watching Sinners, I realized there's a bunch of black movies that I haven't seen. And I wanted to talk about it while making fish and grits. So yeah, let's get started. So today, before filming this for the first time in my life, I watched Set It Off. And the only reason not the only reason, but the main reason I watched that movie is there was this one song a couple years ago, back when the baby made good music. And he had this bar like, I'ma set it off like Queen Latifah. And it just stuck with me. And I'm like, being raised suburban / sheltered, you have no idea what bars mean and what they reference. So the more black stuff I get into, the more stuff makes sense. Yeah, I see why he made that line. Yeah, let's talk about where the movie started. So everything starts off with Vivica A. Fox's character, Frankie. She working at a bank. Some dude she knew from her projects came to rob the place, right? So she's like, hey bro, don't rob the place. You see me working here. He pointed the gun at her face like, yeah, fuck all that shit. Put the money in the bag. She did not put the money in the bag, and damn near everyone he grabbed the white lady hostage, got her out the paint, which lets me know we're not thinking straight. One thing that'll make white people crash out is if you kill their dog or hurt their dog or hurt any dog. The only thing they love more than dogs is money, and the only thing they love more than money is white women. So yeah, you're kind of messing with 2 out of 3 right there. So one guard, who was extremely stupid, he was hiding behind a window with a pistol. They came in there with automatics. So he come from behind the window, drop one of the dudes standing on the counter like Lil Wayne in that one music video. That dude gone. But then after that, he gets shot because he thought that he could hide from gunfire behind the window. There's not a lot of brain cells to go around in this movie. Also, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is not necessarily a cooking tutorial. I don't measure shit. I have ancestors that tell me when to stop seasoning. But yeah, back to the point. After they get robbed, a couple cops kill like everyone except the last dude with the AP cut in the back of his head, right? So she gets taken to the back by her supervisor. And her supervisor is like, hey, what's the procedure you supposed to do when you get robbed? And she like, yeah, I'm supposed to pull out from the, literally, I bullshit you not, pull out from the YN drawer, because that's the drawer that has the button. Some movies are ahead of their time. But she like, and then her boss is like, why didn't you follow the procedure? And she like, nigga, a gun was in my face, paraphrasing loosely. And then he was like, yeah, you definitely knew, old boy, you was colluding to get that money. And she's like, bro, I worked here for 2 years. You just promoted me. And he's like, I don't care about none of that. You fired. Which, side note, me personally, I'd have gave him the keys to the safe. The money's insured. I worked at Walmart. Where am I gonna mix this stuff in? I worked at Walmart, and even at Walmart, I was like, yo, if anyone comes to rob the stuff, I'm not dying about this. This ain't my belongings. There it is. But she was absolutely pissed. And from that moment, I'm like, yo, if I get robbed at my job and my job fires me, y'all don't need to tell me twice to rob a bank. But again, that's just me. So later, they go to a 70s party. Well, we cut to a 70s party. And it has Queen Latifah looking like Eazy-E for some reason. And then it has Jada Pinkett Smith, which before we say anything further, looking at Jada Pinkett in this in this movie, Will, look at me. I know you're watching. Subscribe. Post me on your page too. It'll help me out a lot. I understand you now. But, she pretty much is talking to her little brother who just graduated, right? She is like super proud of him, like, hey, you graduated, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. We going to college. And he's like, I don't want to go to no college for real. And she's like, I catch you thinking about what you want to do? Nigga, you going to college. Step 1, we're mixing, and for the dry batter, we're going to use flour as our base. I prefer to use white flour. Some people use corn flour. I mean, it's not bad, but I just like the crunch of white flour. But if you don't feel like doing corn flour or white flour either, just go to your local grocery store and buy a packet of Zatarain's thing, fish fry. The same thing. This is just how I do mine. So she's talking to her brother like, yeah, you going to college, somebody got to make it out these damn projects. And he was like, no. And he was like, even if we did, with what money? Because you know Ronald Reagan ruined the world. So she's like, damn, you're right. The next day, if I'm remembering correctly, we cut to the next day of the girls working at a janitor spot. And this one dude was like, who's the boss, who's a dick. His name was Luther, right? Luther was telling the women, like, hey, look, I don't care what none of y'all say. He high-key hate all of them. The one girl, her name was TITI in the movie. I remember her from that one Tyler Perry movie. Where I think actually she was getting abused by a nigga who was acting as a different character later on in the movie. We'll get to that. TITI forgot to take out trash at one of the spots. And he's like, yeah, I'm docking that from your pay. TITI's like, my nigga. Well, she ain't saying this. I'm paraphrasing. My nigga, I can't afford a babysitter anyways. For some reason, I don't have no aunties, uncles, mamas, daddies, grandmamas, granddaddies. Somebody gotta watch my kid. I ain't got money to take it. And he was like, yeah, also I don't care about that. And yeah, I'm not paying you under the table like we agreed. I'm giving you a regular check and I'm gonna have to take taxes out of that. And she's like, bro, who gonna watch my kid? And he's like, look, there's 3 people on this earth I don't mess with. I, Aura, and S. Figure it out. She in fact could not figure it out. But yeah, we have Frankie, lady who got fired for being robbed. Like that was her fault. She don't like the banks. We got freaking Jada Pinkett finance. What was Jada Pinkett character name? We got on Jada Pinkett until I remember. She's like, look, my brother needs some money so he could go to college. I ain't saying she has motivations yet, but she working on it. And then Queen Latifah is just a crash dummy. Like, dead ass. So after Frankie gets fired, they pull strings to get her a job at Luther's, right? So they're all dealing with the same bullshit. And then the next day, they go to what can only be described as a hood car show. Chili powder. Garlic powder. So at the hood car show, they start talking about, man, we should seriously rob a bank because there's some bullshit. Why they fire you? Because you got robbed. And Frankie, well, not Frankie, Cleo, again, set it off with Queen Latifah. Cleo, that's the most memorable character. Onion powder. Cleo was like, she was just pretty much want the money, just do hood shit. Like, she had a bad girlfriend too. And I ain't gonna lie, looking at Cleo in the t-shirt, all I'm gonna say is Drewski.
Sometimes the studs, they be sneak dicking.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The stud, they don't tell y'all that. That's what I'm saying. They don't tell y'all that. Studs be sneaking.
I understand you now. Can I co-sign 100%? Actually, maybe. But I understand you now for sure. But yeah, she just wanted to like get a car she has since like high school to be on that cool ass lowrider shit. She had no real plans other than just doing ignorant hood shit. And I can't be mad at that. That's just some people's dreams and ambitions. So after the hood car show, Jada Pinkett, because she's just apparently the designated fine one, gets flirted with by a dude who used to try to hire her, right? To work at his car lot. And she's like, yo, how much money can I make working for you a month? He's like, oh, you can make $2,000 a month off commissions, easy. Mind you, this is in 1996. I'm not gonna do the math. You're probably making like maybe $5,000 a month, I don't know. 1990s money was different. Folk was like, people was buying houses and stuff. At least if he wasn't broke. But she was like, hey, that's cool. I need an advance though, for real. And he was like, okay, you need an advance. What you gonna do to advance my purposes in life? And she's like, bro, what you want, nigga? And he's like, you just heard Jay say he understands Will Smith now and all the thing of y'all weird ass relationship. I'm trying to understand too. We did not come to a similar understanding. but she did to get 20 bands for her brother to go to college, right? Mind you, the night before is when he said he wasn't going to college. That's the graduation night. Keep that in mind. So she's like, you know what? Fuck it. My brother needs that college money. Do what you gotta do. They go to his crib, and I'm just like, I've never seen such sadness in a woman's face in my life. Don't ask me to describe what's going on. Watch the damn movie, but it was just like, just sheer depression. But then when she finally got home, her brother told her, I didn't get into UCLA, the college he was supposed to be into. So when she thought he said he didn't want to go to college, he just wanted to get a regular job and get it that way, she thought it was because it was a money thing. He was like, nah, I just ain't got it, dog. I'm just not that smart. She slapped him because she is pissed. Mind you, when she come in the room, he already talking to a hoe saying, hey, save my champagne. He's like, you worried about champagne, you need to be worried about college, nigga. I got you 20 bands, nigga. That's like $38,000 now, nigga. And he like, I don't know what you gonna do with that. I ain't getting either way. So after that, he leaves, goes to the projects, a separate set of projects, mind you, of the nigga that robbed the bank. The one surviving nigga that robbed the bank. Got the champagne. He cooling with dude. Dude is like, so about that no, wait, I'm sorry, I got discombobulated. I was watching the game. He was like, hey, that AP on your head, that shit tight. He was like, oh, for real? He's like, yeah. He's like, okay. Hey, old girl, because old girl was just sitting in the cut the whole time, just listening to them vibe or whatever. And he was like, put that shit in his head. She like, bro, he ain't even from these projects, because the AP represents Acorn Projects. And he was like, girl, listen to what the fuck I tell you, then go get in the kitchen. Women don't deserve rights, or something along them lines. So after he said that, bro got the fade. He took the champagne, put it in his coat pocket because he was ready to take it home. Which, side note, I didn't know LA got cold enough that you would need coats, because in graduation season, is, at least where I live, is around May. So I don't know why I don't need coats for real, but maybe it was just a style in 1996. I wasn't there in LA or alive. But after he gets out, the feds was watching the house, and they were about to, they pretty much lit his ass up, because they just straight up said, hey, so-and-so, I forgot the new, hey, AP, we're gonna call him AP for the rest of the story. Drop the weapons, get your ass on the ground. Bro's like, nigga, what the fuck you mean AP? I'm just a normal nigga. He get on the ground, and his dumb ass take the champagne out, and police brutality. It does not take that many shots. The nigga is laying on the ground. Even if you thought it was one gun, half of y'all are not even in front of him. He wouldn't be able to shoot y'all dumbasses. But no, we gotta do police brutality. So Frankie, she comes that night, sees his dead body, and let's just list the things that has happened within 24 hours. She has a graduation, her homegirl gets fired. That's enough to make you sad. She has the graduation party where her brother said he didn't want to go to school. Now you got me fucked up. Then after you say you don't want to go to school, the next day you like, look, he probably don't want us to go to school because we ain't got the money. His fast food ain't fucking with us. So I'm gonna go fuck this bum ass nigga for some money. She fucked the bum ass nigga for the money just to come home and learn that he ain't make the school. So you giving bum ass niggas pussy for nothing, right? So after you get the bum ass nigga pussy for nothing, not even a good 2 hours later, your brother dead. So at this point, she got nothing to lose. Fuck it, y'all wanna rob a bank? We could rob a bank. Yeah, so after they do that, the 4 girls, Cleo, TITI, Frankie, and Jada Pinkett, they all go and meet up at Cleo's garage. And they're like, look, there's the small town bank on this side of town. I know a guy we could get some guns from. They get the guns from the guy, right? He coolin'. He want to get set up with Frankie, but Frankie boot. Cleo talks to him like, hey, front us these guns. We got the money. We're going to get it to you. And interest. We just going to rob these banks real quick to get this money to you. He like, all right, cool, but fuck all that interest. I'm interested in Vivica A. Fox. What did I say her name was again? I'm interested in Frankie. And she like, bruh, she bougie. You ain't got no chance in hell. But he like, you know, sure, whatever. Just make sure y'all get my money. To keep us posted with the fish, I'm making the wet batter. We're gonna use eggs, milk, and then copy and paste the seasonings we use, which is chili powder, paprika, cayenne powder, Old Bay, onion powder, garlic powder, lemon pepper. I use lemon pepper because I don't have an actual lemon on me, but citrus and fish go together really good. So yeah, to make the wet base, you just need a couple eggs and like some heavy whipping cream. But if you don't have that, because eggs are expensive, literally just buy one Modelo and just pour it in the batter. We'll pour it in the dry and you can call it a day. Only if you're adults. If you're a child, don't buy liquor. That's bad for you. But yeah, going back to the actual story. So the girls are like, yo, this is the perfect crime. Frankie's leading the way like, I know banks. I know what to do. She's giving Cleo the script. Like, look, you tell them, you take that shit out with your left hand. If I see you move your right hand towards the button, you ain't gonna have a right hand. You understand me? And Cleo's like, I understand you. I'm just here for the smoke and the violence. All Cleo think about is bad bitches, cars, and violence. And I'm like, I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that. So after they go through the plan, TITI, who, mind you, is broke and cannot afford to have a babysitter, she is a liability in the worst way. And I'm sorry. You would think that being a mother will motivate you to be about all the smoke, but no, she is. It ain't even on like J. Cole dodging smoke, because at least with J. Cole dodging smoke, he stood all the way out the way. But the first bank heist, she was like, I ain't got it. So she didn't even show up for the first heist. And she was across the street from where it happened, watching, just to see if they get away with it for the first time, because she ain't have the heart to do it herself. And when they go in there, and it is like a beautiful one take of everyone bust up in there with wigs and shades, and they're like, everyone get on the ground, get on the effing ground, get off the effing ground, blah, 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 right? They get the money out the register, and then after that, they walk out. One take, 60 seconds, they made $12,000. Fire, right? Fire. So when they get home, old girl come in late, and me personally, if I was a criminal and I had a crime, and I knew you was in on the crime, and you don't show up till afterwards, I'm checking you for a wire. That's just me. She didn't have a wire, but that's just me. She says, I couldn't make it because I caught the bus. Bruh, I catch the bus all day. I ain't never been late to work. But again, skill issue, that's just me. Actually, I skipped the scene. We need to go back before we go to robbing the bank. Before we robbed the bank, they went to the biggest bank in LA. It was TITI and it was Jada Pinkett. TITI was just in the background because they're supposed to case the spot out. Jada Pinkett pull up and we see this dark-skinned dude. What was his name? We're calling him dark-skinned dude until I remember otherwise, yeah. So dark-skinned dude is making the professional decision of being like, man, I see someone fine as hell in my establishment. I'm gonna flirt with them. So he just straight up saying like, there is someone, I ain't never seen someone so fine walk into this bank. I believe you deserve a personal banker. What's happening? My name is dark-skinned dude. Can I have your number? And she's like, no, but I can have yours. Ball up top. I ain't even mad at you. You gotta get your rebound. Shout out to Angel Reese. Put your shots back up. And then once they get out, TT like, bro, it did not take this long to be in the bank. You were just supposed to see how many tellers was gonna be in here, and then we could leave because we just supposed to be casing the spot. And she was like, yeah. And then TT was like, you was shooting your shot with him, weren't you? And she was like, yeah. So TT, and then, yeah. After that, they do everything I just mentioned before. Rob the bank, 60 seconds, $12,000. Initially, everyone else wanted to give TT a cut because she needed it the most because she has a son who needs to be, somebody gotta watch him because clearly they don't have no damn family. Maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention. Why the fuck y'all ain't got family? Because they explained it with Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett's parents died in a car crash. That's why she had to practically raise her brother, which is why she was mad he didn't want to go to college, because she's like, I can't make it to college. That just wasn't God's plan for my life. But you can. So why are you not in college? Even though he's dead now. She's really depressed the whole movie. There is a part of the movie she was like, I playing 1-800 by Logic. If you know, you know. I can't say that on YouTube. So yeah, after they rob the bank, what's her name? Frankie is really like, she ain't put in no work. She ain't getting no money. But then, old girl, Cleo was like, bruh, she needed. Jada Pink was like, she needed. So they split it, right? After they split it, everybody starts doing ignorant Negro shit, right? Cleo somehow can afford gold rims in 1996 for $3,000. Bought her girl some new lingerie, which I ain't mad at it because it was bad. Frankie, what did Frankie do with that money? That's a very good question. I don't know what Frankie did with the money or remember. Jada Pinkett was going out on dates with rich boy, dark skinned guy. He was taking her to, was hilarious when he pulled up to the spot. He's like, hey, take me to your hood, what you want to eat? And she was like, you want to go to my hood? He was like, yeah, I want to go to your hood. Me personally, I'm a suburban Negro. I go wherever food is good, but from what I heard of LA, I just go to where I know is safe. I'm not playing with y'all niggas. Y'all are not about to P&B me. Rest in peace to that nigga. But yeah, they go on dates, whoop-de-whoop. She starts to like old boy, right? And she keeps doing this thing where she would ask questions that are exactly related to what she's going through, but are vague enough that it can't implicate no one. Because they started beefing. Jada Pinkett started low-key beefing with, what's her name? Cleo. Because Cleo is moving way too crazy. Like, why are you spending all this money? Why are you not showing up to your day job? We need the excuse that we have the day job. A recognizable pattern is a way to keep the cops off our asses. Because the cops, mind you, the whole time, they still think Frankie was in on the heist from the beginning because she knew old boy from the projects. Even now, this is, I'll get to that at the end. So, yeah, they moving too crazy. They start planning another heist. They go back to the hideout the next night, right? They see their disguises on the news saying these people robbed $90,000 from this bank. And then Frankie and Cleo come down from top bunk shouting insurance scam. Now this is a critical part of the movie that pisses me off. And it's not like a plot hole or a dumb character decision, but if the money is insured, right? You stole money, the people whose money you stole have lost nothing. Therefore and thus, y'all are going 5-star GTA wanted to get people because y'all just want to kill poor people. Hear me out. I'm not saying they should get away with the crime. Actually, I am, because I'm not going to side with banks over broke people. But if you must arrest them, y'all don't need to act like they are a fucking terrorist cell. They just broke niggas trying to get some bread. Oh, so they get ready to do the next heist, and the reason that convinces them to do the next heist is Cleo is just down for whatever with the action. TITI got her baby taken from her because she didn't get a babysitter because they didn't give her a cut, and the baby got, mind you, remember, they're janitors. The baby got into some of the janitor chemicals, which I'm just like, yo, you don't got no one you could leave your kid with. Not a single soul. Not a cousin in LA. I just needed to know, was TITI thinking that she was like an actress that was gonna make it big and left her family in the fucking Yucatan Peninsula or whatever? Because she is not bright and not with action. Like, you could be dumb but with the action like Cleo. Or you could be bright and still with the action like Frankie. You could even have a conscience and kind of sort of not want to go through with all this stuff like Jada Pinkett. But no, whenever, I'm not saying do a crime. If you're doing a group project, you need everyone to pull their own weight. You don't need people procrastinating. You don't need people pussyfooting. You need people to stand on business. There's a life lesson somewhere in there. So the next heist they do, everything is going relatively good, right? They're getting the money. They're getting a lot more money this time. But they see cops outside because this one homeless dude was like bothering this one white lady, right? So they're like, okay, homeless dude. This dude. Well, there's like whole commotion outside and like, yo, we got the money. Where the hell is Cleo? Mind you, Cleo is taking her sweet time because every time she get in the car, she throwing out CDs. I'm like, girl, who cares? You're in LA. Just put on whatever radio station they got Big Boy on or whatever y'all listen to out there. So once she finally stops throwing stuff away and gets the getaway car that they steal because they're smart enough not to use their own car, she busts through the window of the bank. They hop in the car and they skirt off. They whipping that mug through LA, which I've only been to LA once. The only time there's no traffic in LA is when it's a movie or a pandemic. I don't know how they did that, but hey, we gonna let it ride. We gonna let it ride. They get away, they go home, they count the money. It's like 200, I think 97,000. And she's like, hey, that's 75 a piece. We all gonna stupid with it, right? I don't know how they waste all that money. I truly do not understand. That being said, let me check if my fish is stalled. My fish is stalled. We are cooking with catfish because that's just my preferred fish. Really, if you don't have catfish money, tilapia is good replacement, but I'm a catfish person myself. So yeah, what's crazy is after they do that heist and get all the money, all right, we're gonna break down character by character what they do. If y'all didn't hear with water, Jada Pinkett got invited to go to, with the dark skinned dude, to go to a banker's gala, which me personally, I wouldn't go to, because I'm like, if I just robbed y'all, the odds of someone who recognizes my voice and height are exponentially higher if I go to a banker's gala. But she like, I don't care. She go in there looking like Kung Fu Kenny. And then bro's like, yeah, I'm pulling up with the limo. He told the dude, hey, take a right real quick. I cannot have you going out like this. And then we see Jada Pinkett in a black dress. And once again, I'm like, you know what? I don't have self-respect. Will Smith, I don't say that's you, but I see where you're coming from. So they go to the party. They start yapping. Someone asks, is she in banking? And bro, before he could say no, because she wanted to be in business school, but she just never had it, right? Before dark-skinned dude could say no, she's not in banking, she just started rattling off some smooth lies, saying, yeah, I'm in banking. I have like a bunch of diversified sources of income or whatnot. And boy is just so fucking impressed. So impressed that after they leave the party, he gets home, rubs her down to her ass crack with his chain, and then she gets happy strokes, which I'm like, that's a much better situation than what it was at the beginning of the movie. At least she got 20 grand off the first dude. She didn't get shit but love out of this one. But that's besides the point, right? Going on to Cleo. Cleo is getting high again, spending money, putting her girl in something fine and crazy. And I'm just like, yo, if I say my thoughts about this situation, the feds will knock on my door. So I will not be saying my thoughts about this situation. But yeah, all her money, I think, is like going into her car or whatever. Yeah. Wait, I forgot they didn't spend the money yet. I'll get to that. But before they went their separate ways, they hid the money at their job in a work event because they're like, if the cops raid us, the first place they come is to our house, so we don't want to have it at our house. TITI, she actually didn't really do much, right? Nothing important. Frankie, what did she do with her money? Again, probably nothing crazy because Frankie's smart enough to know that the cops will be on her if she does anything crazy with her money, right? Right. So what's crazy is they come to work the next day because everyone's smart enough to know to continue to have a day job for plausible deniability. And they don't see Luther there. They see a new janitorial group. And everyone starts running. TT slow ass starts shaking hands, and then it sinks in. Then she starts running too, right? Oh yeah, whenever you're doing this, what I do is I put my fish in the wet batter, then in the dry, back wet, back dry. Okay? So after that, they start running to the back of where they put their money, right? And then they get there, they realize, oh, dude stole their money. They run to the hood to the guy who sold them guns and was like, hey, bro, you know what do that? And he's like, yeah, he got this hotel off 55th and 2nd or whatever. And they like, hey, appreciate it, big dog, because he definitely stole your money, our money, your advance. He playing with us. So he was like, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but he playing with my money. Brother gotta go. I ain't mad at that. So they pull up at the hotel. This man, in between the night before they put the money there and the night they catch him, he spent money on hella diamond watches and like one white prostitute. Now, I'm not saying I'm pro pay for services of women. That's not my ministry. That being said, brother, you got damn near $300,000. You think I'm only doing one? I would need every girl that dances for the Lakers. Again, if you're going to be a degenerate, don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass being evil. There's a lesson in there somewhere. So afterwards, they find them. They digging through it. They're like, hey, bro, where the money at? Where the money at? And he's like, I don't know what money you talking about. Because Cleo got the gun to his face like, I ain't playing with your dumb ass. Where my motherfucking money? And at a certain point, he pretty much pulls a Harlem Nights and pull a gun from under his pillow and is like, yeah, you worried about this money, blah, blah, blah. What we about to do? What we about to do about it then? Tell me why TT is the one to shoot him and then feel bad about it. Mind you, he is the main reason TT is robbing banks. Because if he would have stuck to what he said and paid under the table, TT would have had enough money to give her son a babysitter. Therefore, she wouldn't have been robbing banks for her babysitter money. And she wouldn't have to rob a bank a second time because she wouldn't have had her baby at work catching neglect charges because the baby would have been taken care of. Right? So, yeah, she pops dude. Not even Cleo, which would have been expected, but she shoots him. She's sad about it. The white prostitute's just chilling there. And then Cleo's like, hey, where the money at? Right? Prostitute like, Shawty, I don't know where the money at. And then Cleo's like, where the money at? And Shawty's like, you think I would lie with a gun in my face? And then Cleo takes her wallet and like reads off her name and address and be like, yeah, this is insurance. Don't play about me. I won't play with you. Deal? Deal. So Cleo is walking home with groceries, and then the lead cop on the investigation is like, yeah, we know that you killed a boy. And she like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he was like, you fit the description and you got priors, and your homegirl definitely robbed a bank. I know you killed old boy. And then Cleo's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he's like, look, you could either come with us or we could come back and arrest all y'all. I'm paraphrasing, may not have went that way. She gave her groceries to her girl and was like, hey, take this home, I'll be back. Get the girls with you. So Cleo was taken into, the rooms, the one-way glass that's like, show us who did it to you. And then the prostitutes there like, you sure they can't see me? And she's like, show us who did it to you. And then they said, turn right. Cleo points to the pocket. She has her license in so smooth because Cleo is definitely like, there's only one girl there who would have folded. She bet not snitch because I'll find you. And I truly believe she will find you. Right? So Cleo is like, hey. And the girls just straight up walk out the room. Cleo gets home free. And they head to the garage where the rest of the girls is at, right? Mind you, that whole night where where all the money got taken, Jada Pinkett was getting rubbed down with oil and somebody's rope chain going down her booty crack. So when she gets back there, she's like, nigga, they done took the fucking money. Are y'all insane? How you gonna let them take the money? I'm about to put the oil on. You wanna have it like, if you have a gas stove, you wanna have it at medium heat. If you have an electric stove like me, put it on a smooth like 5. You want it to cook enough, hot enough that it'll warm up your fish, but not too hot that it'll burn the skin before the fish is cooked, right? So they're pissed off and they're like, clearly, you know what we gotta do to get out of this situation. We need to rob another bank. And what's her name? Oh girl, Jada Pink is like, okay, yeah, sure. And then they say, yeah, we gotta rob the biggest bank in LA. The biggest bank in LA is where dark skin dude work at. And she's like, bro, why we gotta rob him? And she's like, you think we care about him, bro? We gotta rob this bank because the cops is on our ass, and then we gotta get to Mexico. Because money, and you get, if y'all pull a $500,000 heist and then dip out and move to Mexico, y'all gonna be straight for life, right? So they're like, bro, I don't want to do this shit for real. That's Jada Pinkett. TT's like, I mean, I guess if we gotta do it, we gotta do it. Remember, TT's still pussy. But Jada Pinkett and Jada Pinkett and Frankie, no, Cleo and Frankie, they're with all the shit, with all the smoke, with all the problems. So they're like, hey, we doing this, we doing this. So the day before, they stop at a diner to get like pre-meal move. Cleo shows them these like clear face masks so they can't like make out facial expressions, which is gonna be pointless in a real quick second, right? And after they show that, the face mask, they're like, yo, all right, that's cool. Who gonna pay for the bill? Mind you, with the $75,000 they each have gone, the only money they made is the $3,000 from the initial heist. And they keep passing the check around. And like, we did all this crime and none of us can pay a fucking bill. Which I'm just like, I don't even know why y'all saying who's gonna pay the bill in the first place. You rob banks, you ain't gonna rob a diner? Like, just leave with the food? But that's a story for another day. So they get out the car. You already know something bad gonna happen. You wanna know how you know something bad gonna happen? Why are the masks not down while you're in the car, bro? Like, maybe I'll give it a pass to Frankie, because Frankie was the driver. Maybe the mask would impair your vision. But the rest of y'all had no reason for y'all faces to be shown the moment y'all changed into them blue jumpsuits. But, hey, again, they're fighting for brain cells in this group. So when they get out the car, they're going to the bank. Mind you, while they're at the diner, the bank is having a seminar saying, hey, it's this group of women robbing. Y'all need to be extremely concerned for your life if y'all see them, and if y'all do see them, call me. While that seminar is going on, Jada Pinkett hit a dark-skinned dude like, hey, where are you at right now? And he's like, yeah, I'm at work, what's up? And he's like, meet me at the restaurant we went for the first time we met in 5 minutes. And he was like, why? And she was like, I missed you or whatever. She just wanted to get him out the way so he wouldn't get robbed and or murdered. So they go into the bank, guns blazing. They got a freaking MP. Cleo toting the big guns. TT dumbass got the little revolver from Harlem Nights. I don't know if I'm gonna review Harlem Nights because I have seen it before, but if I do, let me know if y'all want it. So she got the little gun. She aiming at everybody like, yo, y'all know what to do. Everything's going according to the script. But the cops who literally gave the seminar, they couldn't get a good 2 minutes away. They got the code and like, son of a fucking bitch. They yeet that motherfucker back, right? So after they yeet that shit back, they're like, yo, where? The two, it's like this one cop, black girl with a bob, and his lead detective, white man. Detective White Man is like, hey, freeze, Jada Pinkett, look. Drop the gun, Jada Pinkett. I know you ain't about that life. I'm sorry for what we did to your brother, but we ain't about that life. You won't have to do this. Now, everyone, I would like y'all to think with your big boy thinking brain, big boy, big girl, big them thinking brain caps here, okay? If my brother got gunned down brutally, I'm sorry, my camera stopped because it ran out of storage. You work with what you got with an iPhone. As I was saying, if my brother got gunned down by the cops for being in association with bank robbery, and I'm in the midst of committing a bank robbery, do you think I'm even gonna make it to trial? Let's say by some freak accident, he is colorblind and can't tell that I am a black woman even though my face is black. Like feature-wise. Do you think I am going to get anything that I will see freedom again? I done robbed 3 banks with guns. That's armed robbery. My homegirl caught a body. They're gonna pin that body on all of us. Why would you put the gun down? Man, as a matter of fact, let's say Saul Goodman was your lawyer and he could get you off of all them cases. That man was directly responsible for the murder of your brother. And if he wasn't directly responsible, he is the representation of the system that got your brother out of here. And you choose, you know what? I am not that guy. I'm gonna take off my face mask, you idiots. And then TT's stupid ass puts her gun on the ground. I would respect it more if you got yourself out the way because you didn't want to face time. Nobody wants to go to jail. Jail sucks. And it doesn't rehabilitate people. Low key, I'm not going to get into politics. We're going to leave that be right there. So TT dumbass put her gun down. Jada Pinkett is thinking about putting her gun down. And then this dumbass hero cop jumped out the way sideways, pop, 2 in TT's gut. Mind you, she was only doing this shit so she could get her child out of... She only robbed the bank a second time so she could prove to the CPS lady that took her child she can afford to feed her child. Now her child's stuck in the system forever because yo dumbass wanted to put the gun down. You could have laundered that money. You could have got your child back. You could have been a good mama to that child. You said you was gonna die without your baby. Bitch, you was a prophet. And now your ass is dead. I'm sorry, if you're gonna die, don't die dumb, kids. There's a lesson in there for the day. Don't die dumb. So after girl gets 2 put in her, what's her name? Cleo graduated summa cum laude from the Stormtrooper Classical Academy at AIM. Did not hit shit. She may have killed the cop that killed her. But I'm just like, from the moment them 2 cops said freeze. But no, y'all want to let him villain monologue. Like, bro, y'all are dumb. Y'all are dumb. So the shots start ringing off. Freaking Frankie spins that Suburban back, picks them up. They think they got away. But then there's a full-on manhunt. Now granted, is $500,000 a lot of money? Yes. But back to my previous point. Not only is the money insured, you're the bank. Who gonna check you? Y'all can say they stole 1.5 million and come up $1 million. I would not be this pressed about being robbed. These people are acting like Bin Laden is running the streets of LA. No, it's not that deep. But they're like, nah, we can't let poor people get money and steal. This is like, what, 12 years before the '08 crisis? Y'all can get bailed out by the government, but if poor people find their way to get a come up, then it's an issue. But hey, that's just me. That's just my hot take. They did nothing wrong. For real, the only people that actually got killed was one cop who shot a member of the team, and then like a dickhead who robbed them. Them girls ain't did nothing wrong. I don't care. Free them. Well, we're about to get into that. So they get to the car they actually want to drive to Mexico in, and TT bleeds out and dies sadly because, you know, she was dumb. She died dumb, kids. Don't die dumb. If you're going, actually don't do crimes. But let's say you're writing a story about doing crimes that involve guns. If the cops catch you with the crimes with the guns, you think they're gonna let you go, especially if you're black? You're not gonna make it to trial. Go out like Tony Montana. Again, this is if I was writing a story about being a criminal. This is all fictitious. Do not take my words as legal advice. I will not be responsible for your actions. But yeah, hold up. Let me see if this oil is hot enough for my fish. It is hot enough. So when you're frying fish, to know that the fish is done, what I do is just play it by ear. Oil is loud, So whenever it's quiet, that's how you know it's finished. Yeah. So they leave the body of old girl in that Suburban. And they get in Cleo's drop, and they're thinking they're getting away until they ride into this tunnel, and there's like 2 police helicopters. And then Cleo, the girls is freaking out. Cleo tell them, look, what y'all gonna do is go press yourselves against the wall, and in 60 seconds, run the other way. And they're like, what about the money? Cleo's like, don't worry about it. Y'all take y'all cut, I'll figure it out from the rest. Cleo knew her ass was not long for this world. She knew, and she chose the unselfish thing of distracting most of the cops by just running out crazy, right? So at a certain point, she just reaches a dead end, and it's just like she's surrounded by fucking cops. And then they play a meme. I think if y'all watch my channel, you'll probably have watched Prim's Hood Cinema before, right? At least if I'm talking about black movies, you watch Prim Hood Cinema. Nigga, I did not know this is where he got day after day. As she's driving in slow motion, every police officer in Los Angeles, California is shooting up her car. Her car stops moving. She smokes a cigarette. And she's just like, yeah, I'm not getting out of here. She comes outside with the chopper, sprays, and gets lit the hell up and dies. Her girlfriend is watching on TV that, damn, they done got Cleo. And I'm just like, yo. Rest in peace to the greatest crash dummy of all time. So after Cleo's gone, all that's left is Frankie and Jada Pinkett. I could have took the time when my phone ran out of storage to Google her name, but I won't because I believe in consistency. That's why you also like, comment, and subscribe. So after they do that, an old girl is dead, right? Jada Pinkett and Frankie, they take off their jumpsuits and they split up. They both got their money on them. Jada Pinkett gets on a bus to Mexico, which I just guess they don't give a fuck about passports, but ICE wasn't invented until like 2003. Who really cares? ICE is stupid. So she get on the bus with a sombrero. Once she get on the bus, she takes out the sombrero, which, bitch, I'd have had that mug on my head like I'm Michael Jackson, a smooth criminal, until I'm across the border. That's just me. Now, this part was just for dramatic effect. There is no logical reason to do it, but I'm gonna let it rock because it was a good scene. The cops surround Frankie while she's on the highway, right? And then they tell her to drop the money. Again, same cop who's like at every bad situation in her life. Lead detective. He's like, Frankie, you ain't gotta do this, man. You don't have to do this. Drop the money. Cleo's dead. TT's dead. You gotta think about yourself. Now, cop, I know you're lying because it's your job to lie. But again, let's say all of y'all do not kill her brutally, like you've done everyone else in this movie. Even people who had nothing to do with these crimes. Let's say she survives. If you tie me to 3 robberies and 1 murder, I will never see the light of day again. And clearly, Frankie knew that too. She pulled out the Desert Eagle, put it to his neck, and is like, now you tell me what happens when a gun's to your head. What's your procedure, nigga? And I'm just like, yo, that's how you're supposed to die. Not like little dumbass TITI who just like, please, I don't want to be a criminal no more. Nigga, either way, you either take the lottery of robbing banks, laundering money, grabbing your baby, going to Mexico, or the guaranteed prison for life. But no, TT dumbass want to put the gun down. Fuck TT. Fuck you and your dumbass kid. Actually, not fuck your kid. He ain't did nothing wrong. I mean, he drunk a little bit of bleach, but I mean, who hasn't? Put the gun to his face. Didn't shoot him, which me personally, I'm like, bro, it's at the scene of every traumatic event of every girl in the movie. When Jada Pinkett's brother died, he was there. When you got fired, he was there. When the block became hot, when he took away Cleo, he was there. TT He was there when TITI got shot. He was everywhere. If I'm going out, I'm taking you with me. Y'all act like hell ran out of rooms. I'm not going to hell because I love my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and you should too, but that's just me. So after that happened, right, she runs away and gets shot in the back twice and dies in front of a bus of what can only be described as either people wanting a cheap bus ticket to Mexico or a bunch of Mexican tourists, which I think is much funnier. You come from Mexico, you want to see LA, you want to see the palm trees, you want to see Tom Cruise or whatever, and like you just are ready to go back to Mexico, you know, see your family, tell them about your adventures, and the last thing you see is a random black woman getting gunned down by the police. And the thing that pisses me off, sometimes movies do it, and they usually do it in comedies, and I hate it no matter the genre. When people are accused of something they didn't do because of racism, and then the racists get proven right. The whole reason the cops, specifically head detective, was on her ass is he thought that she knew the dudes from the projects who robbed the bank at the beginning of the movie. And then inadvertently, with her getting fired because of their accusations, he created a new bank robber. Everything is his fault and he got off scot-free. But we're just going to ignore that. But that shit pissed me off. I hate that dude. I hope he gets hit by a truck. But the movie ends with Jada Pinkett in Mexico. She cuts off her hair and then she looks like normal Jada Pinkett. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm Gucci. This is not an alopecia joke, by the way. We respect black women. Will Smith, I know you're watching again. Post me on your story. Do not slap me. I respect you and your wife. Yeah, so she cuts her hair off. She in Mexico. She counting up money. Getting flashbacks to all the happy times she had with her friends before they all got brutally murdered by the police. And yeah, she's really sad. But TITI should have learned this. Guilt is a luxury for the free and the living. You can feel guilty after you get away with the crime. But no, you want to have a soul and let that eat you up inside. So now you're dead. Yeah. Congratulations, friend. Such genius planning on your part. We don't know. Now your child's being adopted by a white woman. He's being raised to be self-hating. Thanks a lot. You done made a black Republican in the future because you just couldn't lock in. All your there, mind you, the scene in the bank that pisses me off. There was 2 people with guns pointed at 3 people with guns. One of the 3 people on your side has an automatic. Spray, dip. Spray, and dip. Y'all had your chance and y'all fumbled. But it's a heist movie. Unless you're Ocean's 11, you're not allowed to get away happy. Lord forbid you get away with robbing financial institutions and having a good time with it or whatever. But I guess the moral of the story is don't steal. And if you are going to steal with more Cleos than TTs. Like, yeah, Cleo is dumb and will spend all her money and bring on heat. But at least when push come to shove, she gonna have your back. And yeah, I'm gonna show y'all the finished product once I'm done with this fish. Okay, as you can see here, my fish is almost done. You need to bring your water to a boil. I'm trying to do that shit right now. But I do have more thoughts about the movie. And I'm still pissed off at TT. Fuck TT. Freaking Jada Pinkett was fucking bum ass niggas to get her brother to college, which he wasn't qualified for. Is she gonna fuck? There we go. My sister's in the background. Don't worry about that. If she will fuck a bum to get her brother into college, you mean to tell me you can't shoot a cop you gonna put your gun down? You can't shoot a cop to get your child out of CPS and then to Mexico? Girl, it's slower than constipation. It's softer than baby shit. If you wanted to be soft as shit, you should have started a daycare. The price of day cost is robbery anyways. But Jesus Christ, I can't stand TT. And also, an unpopular opinion, I think Frankie's death was cooler than what's her name's Cleo. Like, don't get me wrong, Cleo went out like a G. She went out shooting. But Frankie doing the callback to the beginning of the movie saying, what's the fucking procedure? That shit's hard. I'm sorry. But yeah, great movie. I'm gonna show y'all the final product of the food once the food is okay. So grits are finished. I did it the way God intended it, with sugar. I put a couple pieces of catfish on it, sweet and savory. It's beautiful. And in regards to the movie, I would give it a smooth 8.7 out of 10. Only thing I would change about it is they would have killed that lead detective, because fuck him. And if I wanted to make a major change, the moment that the older brother died, I would have turned the movie to Kill Bill, but instead of assassins, it's cops. But that's just me. But yeah, have a nice day, and we'll be cooking tomorrow, or we'll be cooking next week.